Here we go. Here we go. We are somewhere in Florida for the Blitzball World Series. Home runs do exist. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about Blitzball. I'm your co-host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey.
Hey, Brendan, fireworks in this game. We finally see the offenses come alive, something we've been waiting for.
Fireworks. Isn't that more for like a walk-off?
Katy Perry songs, yeah.
Isn't that a Katy Perry song?
Doesn't that remind me of a Katy Perry song? What's that line that Jason Derulo says?
Jason Derulo.
Do you know what song I'm talking about? It's Trumpets by Jason Derulo.
Oh, I like that song.
And it says, what is it? Why does your bra remind me of a Katy Perry song?
Oh. Famously, usually has gemstones or rhinestones on her bras in her music videos.
Right.
Especially in California girls.
It also famously has, big boobs.
Yeah.
I think it's more so for that than the rhinestone stuff.
Okay, that makes
Jason Derulo, ever the gentleman.
Unfortunately, Fireworks is a little past her prime, in my opinion.
Past her prime?
Yeah, Teenage Dream is where it's at.
It came out at the same time, bro.
I don't think that's on that album.
I'm going to look it up. I swear to God, if Fireworks came out before Teenage Dream, you're going to have to eat crow live on stream.
Here we go. This is why I put myself out there for the entertainment. Let's see. Is it on Teenage Dream?
Fireworks came out in 1932.
Damn it. I was way off.
Doesn't look good for you, Brendan. Let's see. Teenage Dreams.
Is that the idea of fireworks was invented?
Okay. It was on Teenage Dream, the album Teenage Dream. Teenage Dream came out July 23rd, 2010.
Okay.
Firework came out October 26th as a single.
Aha.
As a single. So it came out just after.
So like I said, it's past her prime.
It's on the same album.
Teenage Dream was her prime. Fireworks was after the prime. It was promoted after the prime.
Yeah, okay. You win. So Katy Perry
ammo I needed.
Played against Morada this week. Gainesville wins the annual Katy Perry Award. Very prestigious.
Very prestigious.
I didn't know what to expect going into this game because I personally, sorry guys, have never heard of Gainesville Blitzball before this. Morada we heard of because they were in the 1v1 tournament.
Our boy Lou.
And
Lorenzo Lou.
They kind of went crazy.
They went the fucking nut job.
They went kind of nut job, baby.
They really did.
But Brendy, before we get too far into it, you want to burn something?
I do. It's Gainesville versus Morada, and Corey starts the game a little sluggish on the mound. He plays his favorite emo track, Welcome to the Walk Parade, leading to a 5-run inning. I can't remember who was pitching. It was either Patrick or Jacob, but he finishes the inning much with limited damage, unlike my 2019 Civic. 5-1 going into the second inning. All Gainesville needs to do is get 2 runs and win. And I forgot which guy it was, either Luke or James. But they go down and golf one out of here for 3-run shot for the tournament's first home run and puts a win on the board.
I can't believe you doubled up on the same joke. I cannot believe it.
You like that?
We were watching Great British Bake Off today, and they did the same thing. I turned to Chris and I said, "There's no way they just doubled up on the same." It was literally like one of the hosts who went to the other host and said, "Oh, you got the award for the best intro of the season," and then he came back and goes, "Oh no, sorry, you were actually in second." She goes, "Oh," he goes, "Oh, you have the award for the most gracious defeat of the season." She goes, "Oh my God, thank you." And he goes, "Oh no, sorry, you actually got second." I was like, they did the same exact joke twice.
There's a comedy rule of 3s, but a worse way to do it is 2 times.
2 times. But yes, as you were saying, Brendan, Gainesville kind of went nut job. Original sentence from Peter Del Rey. Against Morada, who we saw, like we said, in the 1v1 tournament. We saw, I believe Corey was in it too, right?
I think so. Maybe more briefly. I think maybe he got knocked out a little bit earlier, but he was familiar looking.
He got knocked out?
Let me also take you a little bit through my thought process there when I was writing this. I just thought it was funny. Like, oh, okay, Patrick Jacob, 2 first names. Funny joke. Then when I was like, I didn't even think about doing it again until I got to like where Luke James also had a like, wait, that's another one. I'm doing it again. 2 first names is always funny to me.
Corey did make it. Corey was in the tournament.
Okay, that's why
he did relatively well, if I recall. Let's see. He played 3 games. So he was the third guy knocked out of the tournament. He was the third guy knocked out of the tournament. Pretty decent, not awful. How's his pitching? Pretty good. Pretty good on the pitching side.
In the 1v1 tournament.
So in the 1v1 tournament. So seeing him here and seeing Lorenzo there, who, famously go back and listen to it, Brendan and I raved about Lorenzo. We loved Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, he took the tournament by storm.
He did take the tournament by storm. We were big fans of him. I was thinking, these unknowns in Gainesville, they're going to lose, obviously, right? Nope. Lorenzo starts off pitching. No, sorry. Corey started off pitching, walked 2 guys, gave up 4 runs. Lorenzo comes into the game, and this is where Corey gave up his runs. He came in with 3 inherited runners. All 3 scored. No outs were recorded against Gainesville in the first inning, and turns out the whole game. Is that true? No.
Mm-hmm.
But like
close.
They came real close. All 3 outs were like no recorded outs in the first inning. I believe only 1 out was recorded, maybe 2 in the second. I can't quite remember. But they get put 5 up on them. Morada comes up to the plate. Patrick Jacob is pitching. 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch. Only 1 run earned somehow with a strikeout. Then you go to the bottom of the inning. And we're speed running going through this, Brendan.
Yeah. Well, I'll stop you quick before you go there too. We have our guys starting off, the 2 guys we sort of do know from 1v1, and it just looks like they just were a little off. They talked about a little bit in the broadcast how we hadn't seen this yet of just like a literal walk parade. It was just I don't know. Sometimes you miss with blitzballs, and that's okay. It didn't look like Corey didn't look like absolutely awful, but these guys are taking pitches and he's missing just enough. And I'm sure he'll have a bounce back game next time he pitches. Same thing with Lorenzo. Lou comes in to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit and has the same exact problem. So when the guy that takes over to relieve for you is also walking people, it's just going to end in a 5-run capped inning. And that happens. We haven't seen another team match that in the days we've been watching this Blitzball channel. Like we were saying in the last episode, warehouse games is a little bit different. If you have another team that can put up runs, like a 5 spot is the best you could do, of course, but it can be matched. It's not the end of the world if you go down 5-0. We see here in this one might be a little tougher.
Especially when coming into that last inning, Blake Gone comes into pitch. I believe they said he's never pitched in a tournament before. Ends up getting a strikeout right away. I was stoked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, Morada can do this. They're gonna be there. They might come back. This might be the spark that they need. They had scored in their inning, so it was 5-1 when the second inning started, and all Morada needed was 2 runs, and then all Gainesville needed was 2 runs, and then Morada couldn't catch up because you can only score 5 per inning, and they end up getting 3 because Luke James hits the first home run of the tournament, walks this game off. Gainesville wins the game by a dominating 8-1, not even giving Morada a chance for last licks, which is so funny because if there's one thing that you ever learned growing up playing baseball is that if you're the home team, you always have a chance to have last licks, and like this is the first game I've ever seen where that was not the case.
Yeah, I mean, you want to say that maybe there should be a way to catch up, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway. Like they still had more time to play more ball. they probably would have maxed out again if they would have been to 10-1. Now, if you're playing by, I guess, warehouse rules, they would have been allowed to they would have had to have tied or gotten close enough. You have to get within a certain amount of runs, right, before you get to an out, something along those lines. So you have basically one out to tie it or something like that. Still, like, very unlikely it would have been to catch all the way up to, assuming 10-1. You say 8-1, still like really difficult to score seven runs.
7-run deficit is hard enough.
Yeah.
I mean, like you saw in the first inning. In the first inning, you saw only 1 run scored. And, like, yes, theoretically, you could say the second best pitcher is going to come in. But I believe this is the game where Gainesville was saying, like, they didn't even use their best pitcher. So I could only assume that Jack is the better pitcher of Patrick and Jack. So they didn't even use him. You know, Morada was doomed from the first walk that happened. That's not true. They were doomed ever since they gave up all 5.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel me, Brendan?
I feel you. That's why we'll talk about it later. But the person that I have as my player of the game is very important for that very reason.
Johnny.
But, I mean, play with me here a little bit. Say that Morada is allowed to try and catch up to 8-1 with 1 out only. Isn't that kind of fun to see a little bit? Like, to see, like, oh, we saw 5 runs get walked in the first inning. It's not impossible for them to get a bunch of men on, and just like the slow creep of, like, oh, now it's 8-3 and 8-5 now. Like, it could have made for an interesting bottom half of the inning if we were allowed to play it. I don't know if you agree or not, or if you feel like it was.
No, I fully agree with
useless.
I fully agree with you.
Okay.
I think it's always more fun to watch more of the sport.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, I also get, like, you don't want to watch... I also don't want to watch Gainesville just run the score up knowing that Morada wouldn't be able to make it back. If this was a game like the last one that we saw, and say, like, Como made it 8-1, I would love to see Swisher try and get it back, because Swisher's a team where I feel like pretty confident in them doing it. Morada just did not have it at all today.
Yeah.
Well,
I fully get it, though. It's a way to either keep the blowout games quick and painless, or to keep the games relatively close enough in a window that keeps them entertaining too. So I understand the thought process, but just playing devil's advocate. Playing devil's advocate.
No, I don't buy it, Brendan.
Okay, don't buy.
I'm gonna go buy bed.
I don't buy it, babe.
I'm gonna go buy your bed.
I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, good night.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that home run a little bit too. I mean,
no.
It's kind of crazy we haven't seen one until the third game. I feel like in the 1v1 games we were seeing them cranked left and right, and this field definitely isn't bigger than the 1v1 field.
I don't know that.
Higher fence, the monster in left field. But it was a good hit. He went down and got it, and he smushed it.
What?
He smushed it.
He took it and smushed it.
He took it and smushed.
Yeah, he really hit the shit out of it. It was a debatable one, though, Brendy, wasn't it? We don't have a good angle of it, but...
You think it was foul?
No, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
I think that there's an argument, because of that perception you can't really tell on the video. So I don't know when it curves foul. I distinctly remember watching the hit and being like, if this was a real field, Major League, is that hitting the pole, or is that just missing to the left of the pole?
Right, since it has to be an imaginary pole, you have to just kind of visualize it.
Right. So the people there seem to believe that, like, yes, it was a home run. So who am I to say that they're wrong? But it definitely looked questionable. Questionable is the wrong word. Questionable kind of implies, like, hey, they got the call wrong. It does look interesting, though, because I would love to see another angle from the side. I know it's not available, but
I think I did see Sammy was in as umpire that game, so maybe he's got some money on Gainesville. I'm sure they're betting. They must be betting throughout this entire process.
They have to be betting.
If they're not, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I heard that's a rule of the league. You must be
gamble.
betting or else you get banned.
Right. You have to put at least you have to spread out $1,000
Yeah.
somewhere
Across the
tournament. Yeah.
You have to, at least.
You have to.
Last tournament, the last time they did this, the Blitzball World Series, I'm not going to name any names. Somebody got banned because they only bet $999.
Yeah. And
So they're
someone
no longer in
else
the team.
lost their family's home.
Somebody else lost their family's home.
But I think I don't want to spoil the
Another
tournament.
one got a major league baseball job as an interpenter.
Really? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I
First,
I
I
know who you're
think for
talking about.
Shohei Ohtani. I'm not going to give out names,
Not gonna go out names.
but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Started gambling on Blitzball games.
Started
Ended up
gambling in
in
the
jail.
Blitzball World Series. That whole saga is still so funny to me.
It is.
Just the fact that he texted him was like, "Oh, I'm really bad at this gambling stuff." LOL is ridiculous.
But
It's
anyway,
ridiculous.
want to bet another mill?
You know what? Here, let's bet another $15 million. Sound good? Yeah, okay. Ridiculous. But enough out of ePay.
Enough out of eBay.
Here's something that's going to be rude, Brendan.
To me?
No.
Okay. Whew. I don't know if I can handle it if it was for me today. I'm on the
Last
minute
episode,
send.
famously, I said that all of the teams are pretty close together in terms of skill.
Uh-oh.
And then I threw the Bombers under the bus, said they're a solid number 4. I don't think Gainesville is that much better than Como or Swisher or Pinstripe at this point, from what we've seen.
I could agree with
I
you.
don't think that. I think Morada they need to put it together.
I mean,
They
their
need to get some
runs
grease
came
on their
from
wheels.
like Morada giving it to them.
Right.
You know, so I agree with
Well,
you.
that's what I'm saying. So like they need to grease up their wheels a little bit because their runs came off of, walks or not good pitches or a guy who has never pitched in a tournament before, which could be a lie, but that's what I believe. That's what I remember them saying.
Yeah. They also benefited. They were one of the few teams that, actually the only team so far that only had to pitch one inning, so that helped them a lot too.
Right.
Because the one guy that did get, they start with their ace, obviously, and that guy's knuckle drop was fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And he's able, they were saying on the broadcast too, no one's been able to locate a pitch like that.
Yeah.
Since they've been watching the sport.
So I don't know. It still doesn't look like there's a favorite to me in this tournament. You could look at this on paper and be
I agree
like,
with you.
well, this team has a +7 run difference. They have to be the favorite. Shut up, nerd.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Fucking nerd.
I don't know. Morada looks like the worst right now. They need to shake off their rust big time. There's no doubt in my mind that they will because the two guys who are the rustiest are the two guys who are, ranked highest in the Blitzball rankings, 6 and 13. I mean, Jack is higher than Lorenzo with 10. He's 10. Lorenzo's 13, but that's close enough.
Yeah. Well, we know
have
this is their pitching
faith.
floor probably, and we know that in the future as hitters they'll get to hit twice next time probably.
Right. Well, probably.
Probably.
We'll see. I'd like to see them pick it up in their second game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But before we get to their second game, Brendan, we have to get to our player of the game.
Player of the game. Player of the game
Player of the game.
comes from me.
Brendan is the player of the game.
I can't remember if it was Patrick or Jacob. It goes to Patrick Jacob. This tournament for me, and Blitzball in general, and any kind of sport like this, but whether it be Blitzball, wiffle ball, it's such a 3 true outcome sport. And we see how important pitching is in this game because the fact that this guy didn't go out there and walk the field and give it 5 runs and just held it to 1. I think at some point the bases were loaded against this guy, and he buckled down, got out of the inning, and made sure that once they had a lead, they didn't just cancel it out with another 5 spot. Just going out there, keeping the other team down is really, really important.
Pitch no hitter.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Good for
3
him.
walks, 1 hit by pitch.
Yeah.
No hits.
This feels like one of those outings, and say like a baseball game. I'm trying to think of this is almost like a great Lucas Litke outing, where the Yankees have a solid lead, but they need a few innings still, and they go to Lucas Litke for 3 innings, and he's the bulk guy with a big lead.
Okay.
And it's like really important for the series, but it's not like shiny by any means. It's not flashy. This guy does the job, and he's a little flashy because, like I said before, that knuckle drop I loved watching. And usually that's a pitch that you hope and pray that they swing over the top of it, but he's able to actually hit the strike zone with it constantly, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Just really really enjoyable to watch that pitch. But I'm sure he got a couple hits. But I'm mostly focusing on the pitching. It was really really good. It could have been really bad. We saw other players be bad, and he was not bad.
We have seen plenty of other players be bad, and he really wasn't bad. He was very good. I mean, the only other person who would have been in contention for this would be the other two names legend, Luke James, for his 5 RBI in the game.
Yeah.
But like we said before, most of those came from walk and then 1 home run. Oh, but speaking of which, how about let's talk about our play of the game.
Play the game.
It is Luke James with his home run. First home run of the tournament, Brendan. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Do you think they're going to start falling like crazy now?
No. You got the best of the best. The last one, first and last, baby. You got the best of the best in the Blitzball world coming together to play this World Series in Florida. My assumption is that the Gainesville that they're from is Gainesville, Florida, so it's their home state. They got to protect. And Luke James steps up, cranks one big time. That might be foul. Some people are talking about it.
I mean, you saying cranks one is foul? Yeah, it's fucking foul. You're right.
Yeah, foul like smelly. Gets the walk-off, doesn't allow Morada to get their last licks, keeps their no-hitter intact in doing so.
That's the most important thing.
That is the most important thing. He's a team guy.
Yeah. You love to see it. He hits a walk-off home run in the top of the inning to save the no-hitter.
To save the no-hitter. That's all it was. It's a tale as old as time, Brendan. A tale as old as time. If I had a dime for every time somebody's hit a walk-off home run to keep the no-hitter intact.
My, oh, my.
My, oh, my.
Did you notice Colin Stone standing in the background during this game?
Like this?
Yeah. Yeah. Audio Slave song, Like a Stone.
Oh. Be yourself is all that you can do. That's Audio Slave as well.
Is it?
Is Audio Slave the guys who broke off from Creed?
No, it's Rage Against the Machine plus Chris Cornell. And minus the rapper.
What's the band where the guys from Creed broke off?
That I don't know.
Alter Bridge.
Oh.
Close.
Never
I was
heard of it.
close. Really? Oh, they have some good songs. They have. If you ever watched professional wrestling,
that's where
they
you're
famously sing Edge's theme song.
Oh, the Edge.
The Edge. Yeah. The who's that? The bassist of the Red Hot? No, the guitarist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I thought it was of U2. Yeah, U2.
Yeah, U2. There it is. The Edge.
Music Pod.
The Edge gets our play of the game. But no,
I was going to say Colin Stone, I think, was scouting. He's standing back there.
Scouting?
I think he's scouting.
For the Dodgers?
For the Dodgers.
Wow.
The brother tandem, Gavin and Colin.
The brothers hand them. What?
Oh.
Whoa.
What?
But that's it. Gainesville did a great job. Swept our awards. To move on to the next round of round robin play.
That's the most impressive part.
That is pretty impressive. Not only did he walk off the no-hitter.
He came around and he was screaming, "We moved on to the next round of round robin play." He's freaking out.
We get to play another game in the regular season.
It's like we would have anyway. Yeah, I know. I just love the game.
I just love this game so much.
I love playing. I love round robin. Round Robin is a mean nickname to call my friend named Robin. It's not nice.
Brendan.
She hates playing tournaments for that reason. I can't blame her.
I mean, who would ever call her that?
Literally nobody.
Oh, there's that skinny girl. Yeah, it's round robin.
She comes rolling over here.
All right, Brendan.
Okay.
Before we get derailed too much, do you have anything else to talk about, or could we just go straight into plugs?
Straight into plug.
What should people be drinking, Brandy?
Drink Subtlety is a drink made by me. You can buy yourself a 12-pack on thesubtlety.com. Use codes HobbyBoys for $2 off your order. Hobby Boys is my other podcast you can listen to anywhere you get your podcasts.
Oh.
You can also watch this episode, if you're not already, on the Blitzball Boys YouTube channel. Please, if you're listening to this point, you should probably smash the subscribe button. Smash it. Or else.
I will plug my brother Matthew Del Rey. He's a good boy. I love him very much. If you see him give him a hug and kiss, God knows he needs it. Plays he of stars. Other than that, Brennan, ask me the question.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. Bye.
Bye.